Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you this beautiful day in your neighborhood? I'd figured that I would give you a new point of view and give you a new meditation video to enjoy if you don't find my words resonating with you. I am out here and I just lit an incense. So, we are trying to ward away as many evil spirits as we can. Because, you can check out my other shorts that I uploaded from this week to give you a little bit of a filler as to a lot of the excitement that was going on in the forest this week, and I know that it's not over yet. So hopefully I will be able to get well rested within the 14 days that you are allowed to camp in the forest. And yeah, I am right by the road that drives in and out. So you will hear vehicles passing by. And also the Asheville tour by Jeep had passed by a little bit earlier, showing the city gawkers. What's it like driving through a tropical forest just outside of Asheville, North Carolina? And yeah, on the weekend, this road does become a little bit chaotic. So that's from last week's video where I went down in behind where it's water and where you don't hear all the traffic of the weekend warriors coming to invade the forest to get out of the heat, the sweltering heat that is down below. And I guess you can take that many ways now, can't ya? Yeah, it's at least 10 degrees cooler up here in the forest. And it's really relaxing when you're looking to find a place to relax. And that's a biggie. Finding a place to relax where you're not going to be pulled into the drama of other people, places, and things. And staying grounded and firm in your own convictions and your own beliefs and your own goals of what you want to do in life. And that's something that only you are really going to be able to decide for yourself if you really want to be happy. Now, there again, it doesn't mean that there aren't people who might have good ideas of things that you might like to do. And if you haven't done, well, maybe you should give it a try. Because you just never know, you know? I mean, if you've never investigated on your own, then really you do not know. You can listen to a person's wisdom and their knowledge, but until you truly experience for yourself, you would have to rely on their knowledge and their wisdom. And do they have the knowledge and wisdom for you to have a firm foundation of belief in order to think that maybe other things are possible in this life? Do you limit yourself to your potential? Or do you limit yourself to someone else's potential for your life because they do not have or wish to reach the potential in their life, and therefore the birds of a feather flock together, but if one wants to soar higher, well, then it might be like the chickens and they want to peck you to death. Interesting concept, isn't it? Oh, I had to take a drink on that one. I have me some orange juice and ginger and turmeric, potato, or potato. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's really good. Oh, what do we have here? Hold on. New Kent Fire Rescue Bus. Now, whether that was or it was just the painting on the side of it, it was still a nice little, not real full-size school bus. But that would be a nice home away from home. Sure would be a lot bigger than my little mini motorhome, which I'm not complaining because she has served me well. And what is the steed that you ride on? Does she serve you well? Can you get from A to B? Or are you always envious of the other shiny steeds that purr up beside you at a red light? And you think, oh, I wish I had one of those. One of these days I'm going to have one of those. And it just stays a dream of one of these days I'm going to go and do and be and have. And what's holding you? What's holding you back? What's stopping you from? And then do you look at your limitations, or do you look at possibilities of how you could change your mindset in order to believe so you can receive? Instead of, oh, when I see it, I'll believe it. And stay stuck in that mindset. And then you wonder why, oh, I'm not lucky. I never win anything. Well, yeah, I guess if you keep saying, I'm not lucky, I never win anything, I guess you're never gonna win anything with that mindset of telling yourself that you are not lucky. Which is interesting. I have found, let me see, what is it? Is it 4 or 5? I don't know, quite a lot of pennies ever since I've been out here. And that was one of those pennies from heaven from my son. And I'm going to be out here on the new moon on the 17th, the new beginning. I'm going to flow some of his symbolic, whether it's his ashes or some of the flowers that I found where he lived, and some of the driftwood that I found where he played prior to his death in California. So I'm going to set him free on the new moon, maybe on his anniversary, 4th anniversary of his death, which is the 15th of August. I've been traveling ever since then. Well, really, the 21st of August is when I had put everything in storage and I started on this journey that he had taken, so I could find out what it was really like to be a traveler across. I've traveled before, but not to the extent that he had done. I have had quite a few people all up and down the East Coast. So usually wherever I would go, I'd have a friend that I would stay with here and there. And then when my son passed, it was put everything in storage and become a traveler. And then the shutdown happened. So I tended to social distance on top of the mountains and in the mountains. And it was nice. And it was really nice and peaceful and really helped to come to, and the what ifs, what could and would, and trying to find peace and all that. I still have lots of questions that I'm not going to ask, and I don't want people to know at this point in time. But what I can say is that I have questions, and the answers I have received so far are always different every time I ask the same question. So I'll let it at that. And I know that when it's time, I will find the answers, because you have to pick your battles. And I know where my son is. I know on that journey that I took, that I chose instead of what if, that I decided to go on that road trip across the United States because it would get me to where he died in Eugene, Oregon. But I didn't go there. Instead, I went to where he lived. I was taken out to California, where we were trying to stop the medical mandates from being passed, in which gave the elitist control over our bodies, which is wrong, because we have our inalienable rights, and injecting us with poison is not an inalienable right. That is against the Nuremberg. You cannot inject someone with poison without telling them what poison. But now that's another topic, and I'm not going to get onto that topic because I don't want my video to be taken down because I mentioned something that the community standards doesn't hold in on YouTube anymore. So, since I'm going to be putting this up on YouTube for now, might not, but I have to hold certain standards of ignorance for you people. I hope you realize that. Yeah, one of the last conversations that I had with my son, he told me that they know who we are and told me a whole bunch of stuff that, yeah, somebody had to tell him because I know I didn't. And yeah, I did light a cigarette on that one. I did light my roll your own American Spirit mixed with mullein, no filter, which I found it quite interesting as I'm researching and doing what I do, not just counting on someone else to tell me their wisdom and knowledge, but to actually research for myself. And I found out that we have nicotine receptors in our body, and that our nicotine receptors fight against the snake venom. What? Yeah, that's something I can't tell you about, where the poison of snake venom is found. Otherwise, I'm not keeping you in ignorance, and that's not allowed. So, I hope you like that incense. It smells really good. But it also symbolizes the air and the candle for the fire. And of course, we have the water and the earth and the bowels and everything magical that you find out in the forest. That isn't the concrete jungle where you can find peace. In the unfortunate happenings in a cruel world, when it is a dog-eat-dog world, and people harm others for sport, for fun, because they are sick, twisted, evil doers. And that's not good. But somehow, some way, things always do turn around. And that sun always does come up. And there might be days when it takes a few days for that sun come up. And that's when you have to hold the peace within, that there is a higher purpose, a higher calling, whatever you call that good orderly direction in your life. Know that all things do work together for good. You just have to have that faith and that belief that you can do the great things that flash as ideas in your mind. It's like when I thought of glow-in-the-dark clothing, and everybody's, yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Okay, Lisa. Yeah, you can invent glow-in-the-dark clothing. We believe in you. While they're laughing like the crows behind your back. And I guess that's that success is the best revenge. Because, yeah, I did invent glow-in-the-dark clothing. So, who's laughing now? Maybe you. Maybe you at the ideas that you had. Thoughts that are now playing out because someone else had the same thought come into their mind, but they jumped on it and did something about that thought. Whether we're you or we or whomever, don't. We watch others and then we become envious because they did what we thought to do but made no action towards other than think the negative of the can'ts. Can you do? Do you want to do? Is more like it. And if you want to do, then what's stopping you? I tend to think before I act. I tend to work smarter, not harder. Maybe someday I'll take you to my storage and show you how sitting outside of my storage and looking to see what needs moved in order to make room for the impossible of fitting more in. If you sit there and you move it all and move it all and move it all and remove it all and move it all, that's a whole lot of work. And when you're getting to be the grandmother's age and you don't have a young maiden or man around to help you lift those heavy boxes of in and out and back and forth, yeah, you learn to work smarter, not harder, and you envision. That is the envisioning, the imagination of, if I were to move that here, I could fit this here. I guess you would call it a game of chess. If I were to move here and do this, what kind of resistance would I get from my opponents? And who are my opponents? I guess it's the art of war where they talk about learning your enemy. And I think that that's very true, is learning as much as possible. And if you have someone who is trying to stop you from your dreams, if you have someone in your life who goes against your every idea of possibilities because they themselves would not do it, well, then you better learn to separate yourself from the negatives in your life and in your surroundings, or stand up to them and tell them, just because you can't, won't, doesn't mean I can't do. It's all up to you. There's always possibilities. Or you're staying in that possibility mindset, or you resign to listen to others treating you as the slave, and they are the master of your destiny. I was listening. There was something that was speaking in the background. Don't know what it was, but I should have stopped immediately for them to put a word or two in. Might have been from someone out there who was trying to get a message through your thick skulls, and that might be the message that you needed to hear. That you needed a little bit of wind beneath your wings. That you needed a wind for the sails to change your direction. To chart new waters. To get out a map and look at a new destination that you've always wanted to go, where you always wanted to travel, places you wanted to see, things you want to do. And seriously, you better do them now, because later might never come. And that's a fact. And then the if only, woulda, shoulda, coulda will tend to haunt your brain when you can no longer get up and do for you, period. So as long as I can go and do and be and live and enjoy my life the way I see fit, living home free where and when, and enjoying life where and when, well, I'll tell you, I'd rather be happy than right. And you better know your rights if you're gonna live home free. Because between you and me, they're trying to take them every day. And that's why I speak up. And that's why I speak out. Because I listen to that still small voice who won't let me stop in fighting for our rights in our First Amendment platform for we the people. So, if you'd like to be the wind beneath my wings, you can always donate to my cause of filing another lawsuit. Yes, sir, indeedy. The things that we're told we need to do, that we try to ignore, but they keep knocking at the door. And it said, knock and the door shall open. Seek and ye shall find. So hopefully you will find that peace of mind that you are searching for. So, hope you have a great week, and I will see you, love you, as they say.